Hi, my June's Journey friends. It's Curly Sue, and welcome to my channel and to my storyline series. Today, we're covering Volume 1, Chapter 3 in our ongoing story. In the last episode, we met two characters, Sam Watts, an FBI agent who was investigating the murder of June's sister Claire and her husband. Then there's Eddie Daggett, a mobster hitman who is the sole suspect in the murder of Claire and Harry. As a recap, in our last chapter, June ran into Sam while following a lead in her investigation, and they ended up teaming up to follow the next lead in their search for our suspect, Eddie Daggett. They ended up at the horse track, where they split up to find him. It was June who did find Eddie in the crowd with a borrowed telescope, and just a little overconfident, went running after him. And now Eddie, who doesn't seem to appreciate being chased after, is holding June at gunpoint. FBI agent Sam is still fooling around over at the betting booth and has no idea what's going on right now. And we begin. Chapter 3, Eddie Daggett. Eddie put a gun to my head and told me to get in the car. What was I supposed to do? I did as I was told, knowing that Sam would be looking for me. I only hoped I could buy enough time. So we're finding Eddie is no slouch of a hitman. He has been seasoned in the mob, and he knows exactly when he's being tailed. Sam and June have been made. I think that's how they say it in Mobland. Lethal mistake, June. Now you're staring down the barrel of a pistol. But we're not pulling any triggers just yet. First, Eddie wants some answers. Why are you and that FBI agent tailing me, he says. The police and FBI must have a certain air about them because it seems that crooks can sniff them out a mile away. June is likely seeing that Eddie is not a dodo and decides to come clean. She tells Eddie that this is about the murder of Claire and Harry Van Buren. Eddie has heard about the murders and tells June that, hey, yeah, that's real tragic, but what's it got to do with me? June really wants this gun out of her face. So instead of answering the question, she's going to try to soothe Eddie down a bit and make a connection. She tries to segue by bringing Eddie's attention to a picture that's displayed in his car. Is this your mother? She has such a warm smile. And Eddie, still not a dum-dum, seems to know when he's being played. He says, this has nothing to do with my mother. What does it have to do with me? June is saying that she's not going to get over on Eddie, and she may have to answer this question too. Hold on, she's coming clean. It's because the FBI think you killed them.
What?
Yeah, Eddie says, what? That's crazy, I didn't kill them. June, with the gun still in her face, says, I'm sure it was just all a misunderstanding. We can talk it through. Please put the gun down. Oh, good girl, June. He's doing it. He says, okay, I'll put the gun away, but I'm not going to jail for something I didn't do. I've been doing things differently ever since Ma died. Wow, I think the mama seed June planted earlier might be taking root in Eddie's head. June is seeing Eddie's softer side and decides to keep him talking. She calls attention to another random object in the car. Are those lilies? I've always loved lilies. Luckily, Eddie is still feeling sentimental. Yeah, bright pink. They were my mom's favorite. I put a fresh bouquet on her grave every day. And as a matter of fact, that's where I was the day of the murder. And I can prove it. Change of scenery. It looks like Eddie has driven June to a cemetery. He tells June that on the day of the murder, he met Harry on his boat where they talked business. This corroborates Virginia's story. She told June that her dad said he had a client to meet that day and was taking him out on his boat. That client must have been Eddie. Eddie then says that he came to the cemetery to visit his mother's grave directly after that and was there until sundown. Look, he says, see for yourself, and he points to his mother's grave where we see several melted candles. June says, I want to believe you, Eddie, but a dozen melted candles doesn't prove anything. June's gotten quite a bit bolder since that gun was removed from her face. Who's asking the questions now? Eddie says, I know it's not a great alibi, but it's the only one I've got. He liked Harry and Claire. He said they were good people, and their little girl, real smart. He said, I swear on my mother's grave, I did not kill Claire and Harry Van Buren. And he really is literally standing on his mother's grave. He kneels down and starts cleaning the leaves away. June is softening up. Well, okay, so if you didn't kill Claire and Harry, do you have any idea who did? Eddie didn't have a chance to answer that because his keen mobster senses alerted him that there was someone nearby. He jumps up and says, Did you hear that? June looks up and sees a shadow of a man in the distance. Someone was following them, and she was really hoping it was Sam coming to save her. She turns the attention away from him and asks Eddie, Do you think someone could be trying to frame you? Eddie says, Sure, business was good. Matter of fact, I have an office in a nearby garage. Let's go check my books because they're going to tell us who was in Harry's neighborhood that day. And off they go to the garage. Sorry, Sam, foiled again. You'll have to save June later. When June and Eddie get to the garage, Eddie tells her that the office is in the back. Wait right here. I'll be right out. Then suddenly, out pops Sam, gun in hand. He'd been following them all along. He says, No, stop. You're under arrest instead. And June, who's done a complete 180 in the short time she's been talking to Eddie, says, Wait, he's helping us track down Claire and Harry's killer.
What?
Sam has no time to hear this. He says, Quick, he ran out the back. June goes to open the door that Sam just ran through and finds it jammed. Eddie must have blocked it. Sam is quite irritated and says, You let him get away. June fires back, saying, You spooked him. I had the situation under control. Sam is being chastising. I warned you about this man. I told you how dangerous he was. Okay, playtime is over for Sam. He tells June to go home and let me do my job. June will be taking no orders today, and especially not with that tone. She tells him that she's not going anywhere, and also you have Eddie all wrong. Not only is Eddie not the killer, he's going to help us find the real killer. Sam is done at this point. He tells June he is your sister's killer. End of discussion. And walks right off. June is suspecting that Sam is going to look for Eddie and decides that she's going to have to find Eddie before Sam does. Before she runs off, she sees these medication bottles that say Liberty Pharmacy. This logo looks familiar. It looks exactly like the logos on the whiskey bottles in Harry's cellar. She quickly deduces that this Liberty Pharmacy must be part of Eddie's supply chain for the whiskey. Maybe if we go there, someone there may be able to give us some information on Eddie's whereabouts. Luckily, she knows just where this Liberty Pharmacy is and goes right in. She walks up to the counter to talk to the pharmacist, and whoa, he sure does look familiar. Excuse me, I'm looking for a friend of mine, Eddie Daggett. Do you know him? The pharmacist says, Do you go into all the pharmacies asking for your friend Eddie? Why would you think I would know? June answers, Well, I know he has connections with Liberty Pharmacy. And again, this guy really looks familiar. June looks over and sees a family photo. We've seen this face before, and we've seen this face before. And here's the third face in the photo looking right at us. June says, It's okay, you can admit it. I see the family photo on the counter. Let's see here. There's Eddie, there's Eddie's mother, and there's you. The pharmacist still isn't going to give anything up. He says, Listen, lady, I don't know who you are, but you're obviously not from the Bronx. Eddie's a happily married man, and all his business stays private. June changes her angle and says, But I think Eddie could be in big trouble, and I am trying to help him. Pharmacist wants to know what kind of trouble. June tells him that there's an FBI agent out there that thinks Eddie killed her sister. He's going after Eddie. So this man, who seems to be Eddie's brother judging from the picture, probably knows a little bit about Eddie's sordid past, and probably June's story is ringing just a little bit true. He is interested, but suspicious. How can I trust that you're not in league with the FBI? June decides to use the same tactic that she used on Eddie just a little bit earlier. 1. Choose a random object in the room. And number 2, make a nice, polite comment about it. Oh, a Purple Heart. Are you a veteran? I think he's proud. He says Army, Corporal. Took a bullet at the Soma. Now it's your turn, June. Make the connection. I was a nurse in a field hospital near there. I treated soldiers from that battle. Well, she must be good people. Pharmacist says, you really want to help Eddie? June replies, yes, I really do. This trick seems to be working again. Either June needs to be giving seminars on master manipulation, or these two brothers are suckers. Eddie's brother, who we see here goes by the name of Sonny, gives it all up. All right, he's at an old rail yard near Clifton in Jersey. Okay, thanks, bye. When June gets to the rail station, she does a scan and sees no sign of Sam. Hopefully she's still got time. But she knew Sam had his own FBI ways, and it was only a matter of time before he found Eddie too. Oh look, there's that car that Eddie forced her into at gunpoint. But there's no Eddie. This railway is abandoned, so he couldn't have taken a train out. June puts on her thinking cap. If I were a notorious bootlegger, what would I be doing at an abandoned train yard? Eddie has been using Harry's cellar for storage and his brother Sonny's pharmacy for bottling. It looks like that garage was being used for distribution. What would this old railway be used for? This is when she notices steam coming out of a train car. That must be Eddie's distillery. June is just so stinking smart. But there's no time to pat ourselves on the back because Sam is smart too. And here he is, with it all figured out. Good eye, June, he says. Now let me take it from here. And off he goes. No, Sam, wait! And there goes June, rushing to get ahead of him. June and Sam race to the makeshift distillery. And sure enough, when they get there, there's Eddie. Sam shouts, freeze, don't make another move. And Eddie, maybe he didn't hear him, but he sees June and says, hey, look, you've got to see this. And then, Eddie! Sam, you shot him. Sam defends himself by saying, he was reaching for his gun. I had to protect you. I'm going to go call this in. Don't touch anything. So in 1927, probably going to call something in meant getting in your car and driving somewhere that has a phone. So June has time to touch all the things and hopefully save Eddie's life. She finds some bandages and uses it to apply pressure to the wound. Eddie is really complaining about this pain. June says, okay, let me give you some of this whiskey. And Eddie says, make it Liberty whiskey. That was Harry's and my whiskey. As June hands Eddie the bottle, he says, take this letter from my pocket. And then his eyes close forever. Well, Eddie's gone now. There's nothing left to do but read the letter, I guess. June takes the letter from Eddie's pocket and sees that it was a letter from her brother-in-law, Harry. It reads, Virginia's father knows about everything. I need your help. Wait, what? I thought that Harry was Virginia's father. Wait, Eddie, what does this mean? Eddie? Oh, yeah. Goodbye, Eddie. It was nice meeting you. Well, kind of, sort of. Not really. If Eddie didn't kill Claire and Harry, who did and why? Was Sam really shooting in self-defense, or did he have another motive? If Harry isn't Virginia's father, who is? Stay tuned for our next chapter in our continuing story. And as always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that we don't lose each other. And until we meet again, sit back, relax, and enjoy the journey.